Everybody to the world and intergalactic headquarters of Rock Health. I'm Joel Marcus from Alexandria. We have the great honor and pleasure of owning this building, but more importantly, of having Hallie and her first-in-class team. We love you guys very much. Focused on digital health here, and this is kind of their grand opening, something we've been looking forward to for a long time. So we've got a set period of time. We're going to have an interesting panel discussion, but before we do, let me just do a brief introduction. Most of you know the mayor of San Francisco, Mayor Lee, was sworn in just about 2 years ago, January 8, 2012, after being elected to replace now Lieutenant Governor Gavin Newsom. And I remember Steve Richardson, who runs our Bay Area operation. We broke ground just on the other side back in 2005. Mission Bay was just, I think Genentech Hall was here and probably not much else. And we did a totally the beautiful blue glass building you see from 280. We broke ground on that building. We had no tenants. We had actually no idea how we were going to lease it, who would ever come to Mission Bay, but we were crazy enough to do it. So, and now look at Mission Bay today. So we made a good decision. Mayor Lee has previously served as interim mayor and before that city administrator, focused heavily on government efficiencies, and we'd love you to go to Washington.
What did I do?
You can still do San Francisco, but do Washington too. Take that on a consulting assignment. He introduced the city's first 10-year plan, and he has been either in the city or in the county since 1989 and the first Asian American mayor. So welcome, and we're honored to have you, sir. To his immediate left is, I guess, Princess Leia from, you all know? I'm just kidding. Hallie Tecco, who is founder and CEO of Rock Health, really one of the most innovative, creative, and disruptive thinkers. As you will know and you'll learn, Rock Health's a full-service seed fund for digital health startups, and Hallie's responsible primarily for partnerships, building partnerships and overseeing the operation and strategic direction. Previously was in finance and BD roles with Intel and Apple. Has been named one of 12 entrepreneurs reinventing healthcare by CNN, and great kudos. One of 15 women to watch in tech by Inc., and a L'Oreal Woman of Worth honoree. It's an odd title, but anyway. Undergraduate from Case Western in Ohio and Harvard MBA. And she started this trouble, I think, when she got to Harvard, imagining what could be. And then finally, I want to introduce the moderator, Wade Roush, who is chief correspondent and San Francisco editor at X Economy, and I'm going to turn it over to him, hailing from Harvard and MIT, but he got smart and came to San Francisco. So welcome, everybody. It's a real honor and pleasure to have you here. Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Joel. It's really an honor to be here to moderate our lightning panel today. We've got 15 minutes and we've got a ton to cover, so I'm going to jump right in with questions. I'm recording this because I'm probably going to write something about it for X Economy, and so if you missed something, come back and look at the report tomorrow. But I'm going to start with you, Mayor Lee. So the Board of Supervisors designated Mission Bay as a development district, a special development district in 1998. And at that time, if you had come here, you would have seen basically parking lots and train tracks, and it was pretty abandoned looking, right? And the transformation since then has been incredible. As Joel was saying, for a long time there wasn't even Genentech Hall. It was just Southern Pacific property. So how does the transformation here fit into your larger vision for building up the high-tech economy in San Francisco? And how does having a digital health incubator fit into that plan?
Well, thank you, Wade. First of all, I wish everybody Happy New Year. It's a wonderful time to be here in San Francisco, and just to personally congratulate Hallie and Joel for your wonderful work here. There was one more site that missing, because when Willie Brown offered the vision of transforming Mission Bay, and then my predecessor, Gavin Newsom, took over and really put STEM down here and signaled some very hard things. There was one more vision you would have seen besides the railroads and the desolate portions of land. That was my driving range. There used to be a golf driving range called Mission Bay Driving Range. You would have seen me there every night perfecting my golf shot. But I was DPW director at the time, and Willie came to me and said, we got to change Mission Bay. I want you to head up all of the mapping so that we can build the infrastructure, because he believed if you build it, they will come. By gosh, that vision was absolutely right. He already saw not only the idea of having a new sector, emphasis on healthcare sector, with companies that would be in bio-life sciences. And then when Gavin took over as mayor, he invited STEM to be here, the Center for Regenerative Medicine, and that really signaled a groundwork with UCSF being the biggest anchor of it. And then you look at today, we have, over 100 bio-life sciences companies, different companies in Mission Bay. About 50 of them are bio-life sciences. Right now in this region, we have 3 Nobel laureates. Shinya Yamanaka over there at Gladstone, Terry Hermiston over there at Bayer, and others. You got 2,500 UCSF faculty, graduates, postdoctorates, clinicians, and 1,000 more in the immediate area. So I think that when we said we will build it and they will come, we believed that if we took an infrastructure approach to this desolate railroad yard land and built the infrastructure, that a new sector of our economy would emerge, and it has. And when you see all the different pharmaceutical companies that are here now, anchored with UCSF, the hospital will open in 2015 very soon, and you're going to see another hotel probably pop up and Family House, raising money at Stephen Grand's house the other day for Family House. It'll house families as they support their kids to come through the treatments that will go to UCSF. But you'll also see and continue to see innovation reflected here, and that's why I'm so glad to see Rock Health here. Great name, by the way, too. It's rocking with your ideas, your innovation, and I know you're no longer an incubator, an accelerator, and that you're really, in my estimation, really an enabler for startups and for businesses to get together with venture capitalists and other tech companies and introduce them to the relationships that they need to have in order for them to be successful in growth. This is what Mission Bay, in fact, I think I'd argue for the whole city, this is what we should be all about, no matter what sector we're in, whether we're in the hospitality or in technology or in made in SF manufacturing, and now in healthcare, particularly digital healthcare. I love this blend because I was introduced by Chancellor Desmond Hellman when she started talking to me about precision medicine. I said, what? What are you talking about? And as she introduced the idea that we're going to put all of our health data into the clouds and allow ourselves to have that data help us transform healthcare. And what a timing it could be when we're on the verge of implementing Affordable Care Act for the nation. Our city's doing the same thing. We're trying to look at the bridgement of the digital movement to the healthcare movement. I think Rock Health is perfect for this idea, and so I'm excited to be here to help introduce and congratulate the people who have put this together, but also the land use decisions that we made with Alexandria were marvelous, because at the time, we took a lot of risks. You took a lot of risks with us, and you didn't know whether from one mayor to the other, we would change this or not. And so I have to credit Willie Brown for his vision. I will definitely credit Gavin for appointing me to this position, as the many positions he and Willie appointed me, but I'm the third in succession of over a 15-year effort to make sure that this new sector not only got cemented, not only did we help using redevelopment monies and kind of what they call tax increment monies to build the infrastructure so that we could allow the buildings to go up. And this is the magic that many cities are talking about throughout the whole country. How do you revitalize your old railways, your old shipyards, your areas where the blue-collar industries aren't there, and you've got to revitalize your cities. This is what we've done with Mission Bay, and we've done it in partnership with some of the greatest institutions that the city has ever had. And I will continue to say thank you to UCSF, to the wonderful health companies that they've been able to attract, Nectar, FiberGen, Nectar, all of them, Bayer, and all of the research labs that are here, and I think they're here because of the talent. You know, San Francisco is a talent attractor. I'm going to add myself to that, even though I have a martini glass with me. Trying to change my image. But everybody said I have to be more like the other big mayors. You know, so drink more.
Not the mayor of Toronto.
But I also say, just last week, if you know Regis Kelly, QB3, he's down here. He just got blessed with the highest honor from his origin, which is the Order of the British Empire, because of his scientific and business research and incubator startups. As we bless the QB3 at 953, this is yet again another example of the innovation and the innovative spirit that we have. So I think this whole story tells us that our city has done it right, working in partnership with our realtors, but looking towards the future of industries that will make a huge difference. And I know that the diseases that we talk about so threatening these days will, I know, in our lifetimes, be ended with the fantastic discoveries that we'll have with the blending of digital health, our technology, our healthcare, but ultimately, it is the spirit of the people of this city that attract other people that want to solve problems. And this is where we will solve many of the world's problems right here in San Francisco. Congratulations, Rock Health.
You're here. So Hallie, let me turn to you. So you started Rock Health in 2010 and made a decision to move into an office on Grant Street in Chinatown. And actually just finding your office, the second floor office, has been kind of an adventure, right? You have to go through, the scarf shop, right? It's like the Batcave. It was fascinating though, and it's obviously a resilient and very important sort of bustling part of town, vital to San Francisco's energy. Now you're moving over here to Mission Bay. So I wanted to ask you to talk a little bit about how and when you decided that it was time to move, and how you gravitated to this neighborhood, and what was important to you about how you wanted the space to look and work and feel when you had that opportunity to kind of move and reinvent the physical space that you're in.
Yeah. So how many people had actually been to our Chinatown office? So you know what an upgrade this is. We are so pleased to be here, and it's lovely to welcome you all to our office tonight for this grand opening. When we decided to move, it really wasn't us that decided to move. The office was ready for us to leave. The decision to be in Chinatown was a pure economic decision. We wanted a neighborhood that was safe, that had a lot of energy, and that we could afford. And so we ended up in Chinatown, and we really loved it. But it was time for us to expand and to be in a place that really represented the sort of long-term vision that we had for the organization and for the companies that we supported. So it was really great when we met Alexandria and started talking about expanding Rock Health and being able to give better infrastructure and better real estate to the companies that we support. It really made sense to be in Mission Bay. Not only the proximity to the great medical research that's happening here and all the activity from the medicine side, but also the technology is right here as well. We're steps away from SOMA, which has long been the capital for tech startups, and Rock Health is in the middle at the intersection of healthcare and technology, so it was a no-brainer that this was the area we wanted. Being on the first floor was really exciting for us as well because the exposure to the world, it's great advertising for us, and it also really lends this feel of having a community, and we bring people here all the time now. Just yesterday, we had a group of doctors that wanted to be entrepreneurs come and hang out here and work on ideas all day. So if anyone has a group that wants to share our space, we really want to be able to welcome different groups here that have the same vision for improving healthcare as we do. We worked really closely with Alexandria and the architecture firm Studios to build the space out to our needs. They studied our space in Chinatown and the way we use the space. So that garage door right there actually comes down, and we can have community space here for workshops and events while entrepreneurs are working on the other side at their own desks. We have breakout rooms. It really accommodates everything that we wanted of our old space that we kind of put together and duct taped together. We were able to really plan it out. And we've been working on this for 6 months now. So it was definitely a thoughtful move and not something that, we didn't just go get someone else's space and make it our own. We made this space with Alexandria exactly how we thought it needed to be to support the company.
What kinds of interactions do you think will happen here by virtue of just the location being so close to the pharma, biotech, and UCSF, right?
Yeah. Well, first, just being closer to the clinicians. They're probably the ones with the least time, but we need their time quite badly, so having them right there. We see people walking by and we wave and we're like, come on in, meet some of our companies. And then also whenever we have events, it's a lot easier for them to get to. And if they're on the Parnassus campus, they actually have a shuttle. So clinicians is a big one. And then for any of our partners, those that we work with, also being closer to the freeway and being able to park around here is a big perk. I'm sure any of our partners will say it was really annoying getting to the financial district, which will change with the new subway, but for now, it's much easier to get to from around the Bay.
Super. So Joel, Alexandria Real Estate Equities is not only probably the largest landlord in Mission Bay, but the largest life sciences real estate company across the country, right? But to date, most of your tenants have been traditional pharma and biotech companies, right? Mostly with office space and wet labs, right? So digital health is a different animal, and I'm curious if you could talk a little bit about where you think the digital health sector might fit as you look at your base of tenants maybe a year from now or 5 or 15 years from now, and what do you feel like Alexandria can do as this transition happens as more of a bridge between digital and health?
Yeah, so we actually have a much broader palette than that. We started as a garage startup in 1994, actually just celebrated our 20th anniversary. Hallie was kind enough to do one of the keynotes we did last week. Yeah, almost hard to imagine. So we started with a business plan and a mindset to be at the intersection of real estate, long-term value, and healthcare, life science, but broader than that. Which is a huge industry, as all you know. It employs about 3.5 million people, about $80 billion of take-home income, and about $800 billion of GDP. So it's a huge sector. But one of the first things we did in the Bay Area is we bought a set of buildings from a biotech company that was leaving down in Mountain View called Sios. And we were going to lease it to lab tenants, and lo and behold, Sergey Brin and Larry Page came along, and we did Google's first campus. And in fact, they tore up the parking lot and put in a skateboard park there before the city approved it. So we had some interesting issues there. But and we also, back in 1996, started an on-balance sheet venture arm headed by a young lady up here, Amanda Cashin, who was really made the introduction to Rock Health to me personally. And so we've done a lot of investments. We invested in Google at $1 a share. We actually still own some of that stock, so that's our highest return. So Hallie, our return on investment in Google is $1,163.78 times. So we're expecting that money that we invest with Rock Health tenants equal or exceed that benchmark. Okay, so getting back to the real question here. Yeah, we see that everywhere we are in the U.S., we're in New York City, Cambridge, Boston, Seattle, San Diego, et cetera. Every one of these cities, as the mayor said, is having a revitalization. It's heavily being driven by technology, life science, the areas that we have a huge human capital and brain function advantage over the rest of the world in a sense. So we expect our tenants to be much broader, much more collaborative and innovative, where you have engineering and chemistry, engineering and biology, IT and healthcare. So we see our future as a much more diversified, but heavily and almost solely technology-driven enterprise. And as I think Hallie mentioned, when we met the Rock Health people, we're actually blown away. We said, we've got to have you down in Mission Bay, and we've got to work and invest together. It was a very compelling team and what they do and how they think. So that's kind of how we think about things.
So you can see yourselves working with some of these Rock Health startups when they get big and strong.
They don't have to be big and strong. We can do things out of the box.
All right, super. We could go on for hours. This is a fantastic and exciting event tonight, but we have a schedule to keep to. So we're going to move on to the all-important ribbon cutting ceremony. So thanks.